I'm after a favour, a little favour. For some reason, Snips has been nominated as the best independent business in this local region. We've got 9 competitors. In order to win, it's come down to a public vote. The business with the most votes wins. And I think it'd just be crazy and kind of cool for a video store to win best business in 2024. So you can help me. There's 2 links below, one to Facebook, one to Twitter. Both will take you to the newspaper who's running it, the newspaper's original post where they announce the vote. To vote, all you need to do is comment underneath the post with the name of the business that you want to win. So Snips Movies. You'll see obviously other people have done it as well. So if you're a member of Twitter, if you're a member of Facebook, click the links below this video and help me out. I think it'd be pretty cool to see this little place winning best business, which is just nutty. But more importantly, it reminds the local community that there's a place on the doorstep where you can rent a film and you don't have to rely on Netflix. Thank you. Welcome to episode 17 of Inside the Video Store. I hope you're all well. It's been a good week here at Snips. Plenty going on, plenty of movies being rented out, plenty of new customers as well, which is always a really, really good thing. Not a wash with new releases this week, but still there's plenty to look at. And we shall start by having a look at this week's fresh produce. Kids film. Let's go past this. I don't tend to watch many kids films. Kung Fu Panda 4 is kind of the big film of the week. Believe it or not, this is currently the 4th highest grossing film of 2024, which either says that this is a really great film or it's a pretty savage indictment of variety at the box office. But either way, here it is. Don't ask me anything about it. I have absolutely no idea. All I can say, though, is that kids' films here are £1 to rent. That is every kids' film. Doesn't matter how new or old they are. To rent a kids' film, all you have to give me is £1 coin. Bargain. Anyway, that's the big one. Second up is Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse story. Now, of course, it was back in 2018 when the Winehouse family sort of allowed the story to be told and signed the deal for the official version of Amy Winehouse's story. And here it is, starring Marissa Abela and directed by Sam Taylor Johnson, who of course directed Nowhere Boy and 50 Shades of Grey. It garnered average reviews, with IndieWire saying that its refusal to tackle the ugly realities of pop stardom were a bit of a missed opportunity. But here it is. Not my cup of tea, but I know a few people have been waiting for that. So see what they think. This does look like my cup of tea. It's called Stop Motion. Came out this week from Acorn Media International. It's a British psychological thriller, and it was the recipient of the 4th largest grant from the BFI back in 2022. And it's interesting when you look back on those grants from the BFI in 2022. This is the only film I've heard of. I don't know where the other films went. Oh, there's a Ken Loach film that has come out, The Old Oak. So that was another one that received some money. But the other films, I don't know where they've gone to. Weird. Psychological thriller, psychological horror. Yeah, and it does seem like money spent wisely by the BFI. Robert Morgan's film tells the story of Ella, who struggles to contain her demons after the loss of her overbearing mother. Sounds like a barrel of laughs, but I'm quite looking forward to this. It looks pretty cool. That's a new one. This one is interesting. It's called Baltimore, stars Imogen Poots. Someone wrote to me to say that there's no sign of this in the US at all in any capacity, which is a shame because it seems like a really fascinating little film. So yeah, let us Brits rejoice over the release of this film. It's a true story. It's based on the life of Rose Dugdale. She was a British heiress who subsequently became a member of the IRA, which sounds like a fairly sharp career change. Imogen Poots stars, as I say, alongside Tom Vaughan Lawler and Dermot Crowley. So yeah, Baltimore out this week at your local video store. Now, Winnie the Pooh 2, Blood and Honey, or Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. Anyway, it's the second Winnie the Pooh film, and I'm sure you will all be aware of this. If you know a little bit about Scott Jeffrey, who of course is the UK indie producer mogul behind this film, you know he's produced over 100 films in the past 8 years, which is crazy because I don't think he's even 30 years old yet. He certainly doesn't look it anyway. That's certainly one thing. This wasn't, the whole Winnie the Pooh thing wasn't meant to be as big as it was. I know that. I know it wasn't meant to be as big as it was. This guy, Scott Jeffrey, he makes movies usually exclusively to stream on Tubi, which, incidentally, Tubi has launched today in the UK, which is fairly exciting, albeit it's a Fox-owned platform with ads. But there's some good stuff on there that doesn't come to physical media, so is a handy little thing to have lurking around your smart television. But yeah, Scott Jeffrey normally produces films straight to Tubi, and that's what Winnie the Pooh was originally designed to do, as far as I'm aware. Made for £20,000, shot over 10 days. But lo and behold, it just went absolutely viral, ended up raking in 5 million at the worldwide box office, which is absolutely nuts. How many times is that? That's a good profit. So yeah, here is the sequel, and they're planning a whole universe of these movies. Will I watch it? Probably. Just out of curiosity value, because I saw the first film and I'm interested to see how that differs. They did say that they were increasing the stakes. I'm sure someone well known is in this as well. Simon Callow is in this. Good grief, Simon Callow. Anyway, yeah, so Winnie the Pooh 2, Blood and Honey is out this week. And there, Julian Sands. Oh, we miss Julian Sands. This is his last film, and he features alongside Kim Spearman and Jack Parr, where a scuba diving holiday meets shark attacks. Directed by Joachim Hedden. It's he obviously, weirdly, that this director seems to have been typecast as a deep sea kind of guy, aquatic adventure movies, having directed The Dive and Breaking the Surface prior to this. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit tired of the whole shark exploitation genre at the moment, so I don't know if I'll give that a go, but I'm sure people will regardless and inform me of their opinion. We shall see. And finally, with the new films, we have Freelance, which brought in $10 million at the box office off a $40 million budget. So this is a bit of a flop, wouldn't you say? I have seen it. Funnily enough, I have seen it. I found it fine. You know, if you're in the mood for something that requires minimal brain power, you know, just like a Friday night film to have on where you need to just don't want to think about anything at all and just want some chewing gum for the eyes, then it's perfect. It's great, and I can't help but find John Cena relentlessly likable. Strange. And Christian Slater pops up as well. Wasn't going to get this. This is Night of the Eagle, making its debut on Blu-ray. I wasn't going to get it because a stupid reason. Well, one, I've got the DVD, and the DVD is fine. It's not one of my favourite films of all time. However, and I despise that strip on the top of the artwork from Studio Canal. You know, cult classics. I hate that thing. I hate that kind of, oh, this is a cult classic. It's just Night of the Eagle. That's what it is. It's not a cult classic. It's just Night of the Eagle. Just call it that. Erase that and then just extend the artwork. We don't need that flash across the top. I find it really redundant. But yeah, so I wasn't going to upgrade to the Blu-ray, but apparently it is a brand new restoration, and also it has an audio commentary with Richard Matheson on it, who of course was the screenwriter. So yeah, decided to go for it. More from a business point of view, I think people will rent that because it is an interesting film, and Peter Wyngarde is in it, who of course is quite a fascinating character. Finally on hand, we have The Holy Virgin versus the Evil Dead, which enters the draw for the best title of the year, no doubt. It's a new one from 88 Films, and it's kind of martial arts meets a bit of horror. Looks absolutely fantastic. It stars Donnie Yen in an early role, I think, 1991. And yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. So 88 Films, they're doing their finest work as part of the 88 Asia collection, releasing some Category 3 films, which is very exciting. And I texted them earlier on in the week. They have since announced it, so my exclusive has gone, which is just outrageous. But yeah, I texted them earlier in the week to find out about the Guts trilogy, which one of you viewers asked about. The Guts trilogy, which is due on Blu-ray later this year, and for some bizarre reason the BBFC have let it pass unscathed, so we should get that in all its glory later this year. Now, I was meant to have a couple of Warner Archive films here, but they haven't come in. I don't know what's going on with Warner Archive. I think I'm going to have to order direct from Warner Brothers because they're just not coming in. Stage Fright should have been in. This Hitchcock film hasn't come in. Each Dawn I Die hasn't come in. Should have come in. The Jimmy Cagney film. And also Vision Quest, which is Matthew Modine. 3 weeks in, still no sign. So I don't know what the problem is with Warner Archive going to Amazon, but there's just not much happening there. So that's a bit frustrating. Yeah, but never mind. Still a good week. And there's plenty on the way. I've taken advantage this week of a number of sales. We have the Full Moon 4th of July sale, so there's a few bits coming in from Full Moon in about 2 weeks' time. And also, it's the MVD sale. If you go to MVD, they've got some Blu-rays of some really cool films going for around about £3 and £4. Ridiculous prices. And although they're not films that I would ordinarily pay full price for, at £3 and £4, just had to go for it. So you'll see what I ordered in a few weeks. That's about it. But coming up now is what's in the box with a difference. Welcome to the floor. Kind of a twist on the what's in the box section for this week. These two boxes. Now, every week I get customers coming in trying to just dump their collections. Where the shop is, we're really, really close to a recycling centre where people just like dump every piece of crap that they got in the house, all the household waste and stuff. And yeah, they're just in the mood to dump their collections, which is just really, really weird. So like people on the way there, I'm like, oh, I've got these like boxes of DVDs in the car. Do you want them? I hate to throw them in the bin. I'm like, well, yeah, because a lot of my cases get damaged, and the price to buy new DVD cases is quite expensive, especially quality ones. You can't get the quality Amber style cases that you used to get years ago. So worst case scenario, I strip all these down and just use the cases because they're really, really handy. Because I need probably about 1,000 cases a year is what I go through to replace damaged cases. So yeah, really handy. So literally these two boxes have just come in. I haven't looked through them. So like I say, most of the stuff that's in here I've already got, so it's just no use to me. So most of these will get stripped down, films binned, unfortunately, or given away. And then yeah, we'll see. But like I say, it baffles me. Just baffles me that people get rid of like quality films like this. I mean, Kieslowski's The Three Colors Trilogy. You know, how can you throw that in the bin? How can you go to the tip? Where's it streaming? Is it streaming? How could you get the tip and just bin that. It baffles me. Crazy. So what do we got? Got a couple of BBC bits and bobs. And this is a really high quality box, to be honest. I haven't looked through it. Scorsese's Mean Streets. I mean, just to get rid of that, to bin it, nuts. Some Shakespeare. You always get a Peter Kay DVD. Every box, always a Peter Kay DVD. Peter Kay and Mrs. Brown's Boys. And Morris Paris. Jeez, Kubrick's The Shining. Yeah, just going in the bin. Just going, I don't need that. Who in the right mind says, no, I don't need Stanley Kubrick in my life. No, let's just bin that. I got some Disney. Ken Loach's Kes. Saving Private Ryan. I mean, look at that. I mean, that Pedro Almodovar collection. I mean, 5 great Almodovar films. Just like, nah, don't need those. Nutty, Flight of the Navigator. Empty box. Oh no. Moulin Rouge, Boardwalk Empire on Blu-ray. Lawrence of Arabia, Motorcycle Diaries. Clockwork Orange, Mo Kubrick. Postman Pat. Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Graham Greene collection. Wow. Cool. I mean, some of these are great. Some of these I might try and sort of see if I don't have them. Maybe not Legends of the Tour de France. Not my cup of tea. Donnie Darko. Like I say, people that phone up, I do say, well, I've got all your films, so I don't really need them for the films. I just need them for the boxes. And that is pretty much the case. I don't think I have that Colin Farrell film, Intermission. So that might be worth a look. I'll stick that to one side. Big Lebowski, I've got obviously Ally McBeal, I wouldn't want. Big Blue, Shameless, Ladies in Lavender, Control. And a John Pilger documentary set, which is essential viewing. But obviously I have all of John Pilger's documentaries. So yeah, that's one box down. Panic in Needle Park. I have a strange feeling I don't have that, but I have to double check. Yes, I just end up pulling out stuff and double checking if I got them. Michael Haneke's The Hidden. I have TV. I don't really do, so no room for Gavin and Stacey or The Killing. And then the rest is just stuff like Reservoir Dogs, The Exorcist, Brief Encounter. What else have we got here? Pulp Fiction. I mean, just Pulp Fiction. Just crazy pianist. I mean, Amazing Grace. I haven't seen or heard about that before. Oh, Michael Apted film. Well, you know, we're going to have to check out that to see if it's worth keeping. Jesus Christ. Superstar. Italian Job. Home Alone. Under the Mud. Oh. I don't have that Studio Ghibli film. So that is excellent addition. That's great. We'll keep hold of that. 27 Hours, The Artist. Evita. Oh, too old for lying down on the floor. House of Cards. James Dean. Rebel Without a Cause. Bit of Shane Meadows. Chocolat. Ghostbusters. Columbine. Noam Chomsky, who isn't dead. Yeah, it's a long story. City of God, Greece, My Little Eye, and then the final few. Oh, what do we have? We have The Revenant, Quadrophenia, Little Britain, Great Escape, Cats, In Bruges, and A Guide to Australia. So yeah, most of these I will strip down and just either give them away in less pristine boxes, or just bin if it's stuff like Little Britain or Australia, The Time Traveller's Guide. But otherwise these boxes will come in handy, and yeah, see what I can do with these, whether they're worth hanging on to, whether I've got them or not. So yeah, it's great getting these boxes and great getting these donations in. But like I say, the overriding emotion is just one of complete bemusement that people would want to get rid of their collections. They're going to regret it in years to come. They will regret it. Let's see what's been renting out this week. Interesting stuff. Again, it's one of those weeks whereby we could have had this section twice, because it's just loads have gone out, but really quirky films have gone out, which is really, really cool. This is an interesting story. Obviously, The Ballad of Narayama. I think it's one of those early MOC, Master Cinema releases that have since been deleted. I had a customer in from Scotland to rent this, which sounds nutty. I don't know how familiar you are with the geography of the UK, but I'm just outside Liverpool, and this is nowhere near Scotland. But yes, someone from Scotland rented this film this week. He's from Scotland. He's on holiday in Wales, and he drove to England to rent The Ballad of Nariama, which is just nutty. But he said he follows me on Instagram. He's been desperate to visit the store. So yeah, absolutely mad, but so cool, so cool. And it's great to see this film renting out. Has been out for some time, Shohei Namora. So it's really cool. Glad to see this going out. I don't know if you're familiar with Larry Blamire. Nope. You'll find him on a few Blu-ray commentaries and stuff like that. And he made a quadruple, a foursome of films back in the day, around about mid-noughties. Things like The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra, the sequel to that. He did A Darkest Stormy Night, and he did The Trail of the Screaming Forehead. Just very sort of 50s pastiche tributes to films from that era, and they're all excellent. They're all hilarious. They've got all the same cast in every one of them, so it's like his own company of actors, and they're just really great fun. So I'm glad to see one of these finally renting out, because they've been on the shelf for 15 years and no one had touched them. But I wouldn't get rid of those at all. I think some of them are fairly hard to come by now as well. Glad to see this going out. GBF, this is probably one of the lighter entries in my queer cinema section, and it's just it's just light, frothy, mean girlsy, jawbreakery, teeny romp, and it's just very good fun. Really good entertainment, really funny, and should have been rented out a bit more really, but good to see it going out. A slight change in temperature, and we have The Great Dictator, the Chaplin film. Always good to see classic Chaplin going out. I've got a lot of his stuff, most of his feature films, and of course a lot of his short films as well. Eureka have released a good few box sets of those, and they're great. And it's so cool to see this kind of film going out. So that is very good indeed. Frontiers. Have Second Sight got their hands on this yet? I know they've released a couple of the French New Wave horror films, like High Tension they released recently, didn't they? I don't know if they've done Frontiers. This is great, isn't it? Oh, what a film. What a film. The French really knew how to make some edgy horror back in, when was it, the mid-noughties. Yeah, so good. Well, I like this. This is a really good thriller. One of my customers was going through our French section. He says, anything you can recommend? I recommended this. I think it's a very good thriller. Of course, remade a couple of years after. I think this was 2008, and of course it was remade in 2010 with Russell Crowe, called The Next 3 Days. But the original is fantastic, and glad to see it heading out into someone's DVD player. One of my customers came in and asked for something. They'd just seen After Hours, Scorsese's brilliant film, and they were after something similar. You can't have anything similar to After Hours. It's so unique. But I got thinking, and I thought, well, actually, Dead End can kind of fit into that Kafkaesque universe, maybe, just at a push. And I love this film. I've been watching Lin Shaye in a couple of films recently, and Ray Wise, as always, is just brilliant in whatever he's in. So yeah, I thought, try him on Dead End. They haven't returned it yet. Kind of tense to hope they liked it, because I will take that as a personal slight if they don't like Dead End. But yeah, we'll see what they say. Finally, this has just come back in today. Went out for a few days. The Steve Martin film that everyone forgets about. Remember this? My Blue Heaven? Didn't quite hit the spot. Directed by Herbert Ross, and of course it has Joan Cusack in it as well, and Rick Moranis. But I remember watching it as a kid, and I think it's alright, but I haven't seen it since I was a kid. So yeah, interesting film. And Steve Martin does not suit black hair in any way. Anyway, that's a little snapshot of what's been going out this week. Really diverse week. Pleased to see it. And yeah, see what goes out this week. Quick bonus, what's in the box, before we look at the comments section from this week. Again, this is a crazy one. Someone came in, said they watched Air Force One on TV, fell asleep before the end. They'd like to rent it. Didn't have it. How can I come to work and pretend to be some kind of arbiter of impeccable home entertainment choice when I don't have Air Force One? Crazy. I do now, and thankfully that lady was gracious enough to hang on and wait for it. So, but yeah, crazy, isn't it? Just the most obvious things sometimes you just overlook, which is why it's so cool to have all my customers telling me and pointing out stuff that might be worth getting in that I've somehow overlooked. Kind of a bit of on a Jerry Lewis kind of kick at the moment, considering getting that 16 movie box set in from Germany. I don't know if anyone's got that 16 movie Jerry Lewis box set. I think it's retailing at about €40. If you've got it, let me know, because I'm quite keen to pick up some Jerry Lewis films. I was watching the Gene Wilder documentary on Netflix, which is cool, but obviously he mentions his love of Jerry Lewis and Martin Lewis and all that kind of thing. And I managed to pick up this Martin Lewis box set, which is cheap. I only paid £8 for it, and it's got some of the cool Martin Lewis films in there. I mean, most second-hand prices are about £15-16 for this, so to get it for £8, I was thrilled. So yeah, really pleased to get this in. An 88 film I missed out on a few months back, was Short Circuit 2. Had a customer come in this week and ask for it. They also asked for Suburban Commando, the Hulk Hogan film, which I'm having a bit of a nightmare getting. You can get a copy from Australia, which is on a three-disc set of Hulk Hogan films that include Mr. Nanny and something else, and that's Region 0. But I think any other version of Suburban Commando is region locked, unfortunately, which is a bit annoying. Great suggestion from a customer on one I didn't have, 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. Pleased to get that in. And also, obviously with the sad death of Donald Sutherland, I was especially keen to try and track down a copy of Natural Enemy, which I really do rate. It's a cool, I'd say Donald Sutherland did a load of really interesting straight-to-video films in the 90s. And this is one of them. Natural Enemy. So cool to get that Dutch import. And yeah, so even in a week when there's no major deliveries, there's always bits and bobs filtering through. Quick look at the comments section. BM Squared says how Breakdown is a classic film. Absolutely love it. He owns it on Laserdisc, and he reckons that it's the perfect way to watch that film. And yeah, he could well be right. And yeah, Wolfiest Wolf, who may be a relation to Beowulf, says he really appreciated the opening shot. I think it's a comment that you really have to read yourself to truly appreciate the linguistic capability. Lee Mann says, thank you for the offer to pick up The Deliberate Stranger, the Ted Bundy film we got in a few weeks back. He'd already ordered a copy anyway, and it arrived yesterday. He's looking forward to giving it a go. That great Mark Harmon Ted Bundy film we talked about a few weeks back. Jonah Fish said he really liked Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Him and his wife had a great time when he saw it at the cinema. So did I. I liked it a great deal. A lot of characters, maybe too many characters. But it was great fun. I enjoyed it immensely. Film Wolf rightly says that Arrow also released Fulci's. Are you Fulci or are you Fulci? I'm Fulci. Probably wrong. Arrow also released Fulci's 4 of the Apocalypse, which is a great spaghetti western. And in my opinion, definitely one of Fulci's best films. For a western, and it being Fulci, Apocalypse has blood squibs, flesh flaying, knife torture, and cannibalism. It's not as bleak as the awesome Great Silence, but it's a cool death trip courtesy of a great journeyman director like Fulci. He understandably gets the gore tag, but for me he's so much more than that from the Bonkers Conquest to all his solid giallos. Yeah, he is. He's not just a gore guy, Lucio Fulci. He is way more than that. Such a great director, and such an important part of their shop. Such an important part of my film upbringing, really, yeah. Full Circle says Paul Berryman is a phenomenal film. Yes, it is. The Aussie release from Imprint only came on a Blu-ray, and the UK and US got 4Ks. But after watching the local release, he's imported the UK BFI 4K. More special features as well on it. So yeah, that makes sense. P.S. I hope that lettuce in the foreground went towards a nice salad. Yes, my lettuce was well used on a very tasty Greek salad. Thank you. Dave, what's with the shopping items on the table? Says Terry Uller. Believe it or not, Terry, I have to shop. And I have to place my shopping wherever I lay my hat. That's my home, quite frankly, as Paul Young once said. Daniel Turner, Rich Spaghetti Westerns filmmaker Alex Cox has got a really good book on the ecological history and politics of Italian westerns. 10,000 Ways to Die. Yeah, I forgot that Daniel mentioned that in the comments. I'm going to Google that right this second and see if I can get myself a copy, because I do like a good book. Speaking of good books, haven't mentioned this. This is Book of the Year, quite frankly. It is the new autobiography from Fred Olen Ray, Hellbent for Hollywood. Contains some amazing anecdotes, and if you're a fan of Fred and you love his work and you love his films, and he's just a man that's passionate about movies. So even if you're not the biggest fan of, I don't know, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, it's still a great movie. Don't Tell Show rightly says Deep Star 6, because we were doing underwater films last week, weren't we, that occurred in the end of the 80s. There was The Abyss, there was Leviathan, and of course Deep Star 6 was the one I didn't mention. Has anyone got a copy of Deep Star 6 on any format other than VHS? If you do, let me know. Love to have it in the shop. Carl McLaughlin mentions found footage and Zero Day, which of course we mentioned back on episode 10. Such a great film. And finally, Blue Crayon, speaking about entertainment and video last week, Blue Crayon 77 went to see Seize Them! In the cinema. One of the worst films I'd seen in a very long time. It's a children's film, but filled with swearing. No idea who it was made for. That's an odd one. That is an odd one. Anyway, thank you very much again for all your comments, which is truly wonderful. I love what you're saying. I love what you're thinking. And if you have any suggestions, if you have any more Air Force One style things, please check out my online database, which you can find via Facebook and Instagram. And catch me out, because I do love being caught out by customers. And when they say, do you know you don't have a copy of Air Force One? I like it, to be honest. It's good fun, and it makes me brings me down to reality, to be honest, from my lofty film enthusiast position. But yeah, keep the comments coming, and let's move on to some Sleeping Giants. Time to wrap things up with a not for streaming threesome. Like I said before, with Tubi starting in the UK this week, it kind of might make this job a little bit harder. But we shall see, because Tubi did have a lot of stuff that wasn't streaming anywhere else. But might make it challenging. We shall see. Anyway, I've got 3 comedies for you this week, none of which are streaming in the UK, and all of which deserve another look, because I like them all. I think they're all great. First one is a typical 90s comedy, Palookaville. Weirdly on the spine, it says, from the producer of the Full Monty. I don't think the Full Monty audience will really be into this, but it's a very good film. Excellent cast. William Forsythe, who is just one of those great character actors. Vincent Gallo, who made the Brown Bunny, and Frances McDormand, who is excellent, of course, isn't she? So yeah, I really did like this. Directed by Alan Taylor. And it was great. I think I went to the cinema. Did I see it at the cinema? I might have done. But it's good. It's a good film, funny comedy. Do like it. And it deserves to be seen by a few more people, I reckon. This film is by a guy, I like his name. It's called David Wain. And David Wain directed Wet Hot American Summer, which isn't streaming in the UK. This is a very, very funny comedy, written and directed by my namesake. And it has a brilliant brilliant cast. You got Janine Garofalo, David Hyde Pierce, Molly Shannon, Paul Rudd, Chris Maloney, Amy Poehler, Bradley Cooper, crazy Elizabeth Banks. It's great. It's just a brilliant thing set in the camp, and everything tends to go a little bit pear-shaped, but it's good. It's not a PG friendly kind of comedy, but nor is it Porky's either. It's kind of somewhere in between, but it's good fun. It's good fun. I know I've done a lot of things with that franchise since, which I haven't seen, funnily enough, but I must make the effort to do that. But Wet Hot American Summer was very good, but it didn't do anything in this country. I don't think anyone here really got it. I think it kind of appeared eventually on a budget DVD label at some point, and it's there that it stayed, which is kind of a shame, to be honest, but there we go. And we all love John Candy. Who doesn't love John Candy? Chris Columbus's film, Only the Lonely. This was excellent. I do like it. Very touching. John Candy, Jim Belushi, Ali Sheedy, and of course was it the final film for Maureen O'Hara? But it's only one of their last films. And it's great. Anthony Quinn as well. Can't believe this isn't streaming. I think the DVD is going for ridiculous money on eBay. But it's good. A really top quality 90s movie that a lot of people will probably remember. But I think they may have forgotten it existed. But it's here at your local video store, where a lot of films exist that you've probably forgotten about. But that's part of the charm, I guess. Anyway, thank you for joining me this week. Hope we haven't gone on too long. And see what turns up next week. As always, please comment, subscribe, and follow the shop on Instagram, where you can search Snips Movies, and also Facebook, where you can do the same thing. I'm on Twitter, of course, at the Dave Wain. That's about it. I hope to hear from you all soon. I will see you in 7 days' time.